Hi, I'm John Calarco, Holistic Health and Performance Coach. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the bird dog exercise. Unleash your power, achieve your potential. If you have a lack of stability in your core, shoulders, or hips, and maybe you have poor alignment of your spine, maybe you have forward head posture or an excessively rounded thoracic spine, or even a rounded lumbar spine, lower back position, though more commonly you would have an over excessive extension in the lower spine, then the bird dog exercise is going to be a great exercise for you because it's going to help you start to build the fundamental levels of stability through your core, hips, and shoulders that are going to help you align your posture better in the spine, in the shoulders, and in the hips, which is going to help you prevent and even begin to rehabilitate lower back pain, potentially shoulder pain, hip pain. This exercise is very commonly used as an exercise in a rehabilitation program for low back pain, so it can be very effective for that measure. So watch this video to the end and I'll teach you how to do it exactly how we want. Now, again, as I mentioned, this is really a foundational exercise that's going to help you build not just fundamental levels of stability in those areas I mentioned, but also it's going to serve as a foundational progression in the patterning for gait, for crawling, walking, running, all right? Because of the reciprocal nature of the pattern. So when you see me perform it, you'll see what I mean, but we're essentially gonna be working our opposite hand and opposite leg movements while we stabilize our core, which is really essential to that reciprocal ability in the body to work the opposite sides of the body together to, again, properly perform crawling patterns, gait patterns like walking and running. This is going to serve as the foundation to your bear crawl exercise if you've done that before, or if you want to get better at it. So that's what we're going to improve by getting good at this exercise. Now, for the stability of the core muscles, again, the core is an array of many different muscles here in the midsection, from our abdominal muscles, the rectus abdominis muscle that you see on the front side, to our internal and external obliques and our transverse abdominis. Then you have the lower back muscles, the erector spinae, the multifidus. So many, an array of muscles here. We're going to really train through the core. Then, of course, we're going to train the shoulders and hip muscles. So really, you're going to get a full torso and core training stimulus by doing this exercise as we go through and practice it and get stronger at it. So to set up for this bird dog exercise, or often it's commonly referred to as a quadruped diagonal, and you'll see why here, because for the setup, I'm going to set myself into an all fours position. Quadruped meaning all fours. Okay, so I'm going to set my hands directly under my shoulders, my knees directly under my hips. Now from there, we want to find our neutral spine position. Okay, so my neck is not excessively tilted forward. I'm going to tuck my chin back. And to find the neutral spine position, what's often really helpful here is just to go into some full extension of the lower back and then come off of that just a few inches where you feel like you could take a punch in the stomach. All right, that's usually the best position for our neutral spine. Now, to really lock that in and make sure you don't lose it, and to hold you accountable to doing the exercise correctly, we're going to take this foam roller here, and once I get my neutral position, I'm going to set that foam roller right there on my lower back in this position. All right. Now, so I'm set, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Okay, my neutral spine is set. Last thing here, we want to make sure we're pushing this ground away. So those shoulder blades are pushing forward and they're also down away from the ears. So we don't have any excessive shrugging going on like this as we stabilize the shoulder joint in this exercise. So shoulders are down and then pushed forward. Okay, those shoulder blades are pushing forward around that thoracic spine to really stabilize here. All right, for the feet, often people are unsure whether they should point the toes or pull the toes up like this. In the beginning, I prefer, and it's best to have the toes pointed because that's going to put more of a stabilization challenge on the hip. When we pull the toes up like this, we're going to get some added stability through the foot. All right, that's going to help us stabilize. So it will make the exercise a little bit easier. So in the beginning, I like to start like this, and then eventually we can start working here once we really own the exercise. That way we can progress to, knees off the ground variations and our bear crawls, etc. All right, so once we're set in the position, that's the most important part. The execution is really simple. We're going to exhale like we're blowing through a straw, and then we're going to go ahead and reach opposite hand, opposite leg straight out like we're trying to touch the wall in front and behind us. And then inhale as we return to the start position. Okay, again, making sure that foam roller doesn't move off of the spine there. Make sure it's nice and centered, all right, so that it's not tilting off one side. I'll show you on this side as well. Okay, and then inhale as you return to the start positions. I'll show you 2 more reps here. Again, pushing that ground away. Exhale through the mouth like you're blowing through a straw. Reach, okay, drive up like you're trying to drive that thumb up to the ceiling. All right, that's going to get us activated there through the lower trap muscles and the muscles there that help us to flex the shoulder up. Okay, our shoulder muscles, our deltoids are going to work as well as we drive them up in that position. We're going to get a little bit of the rotator cuff muscles as we drive up in that position as well, straight out. And again, I'm stabilizing strong through my hips and through my abdominals to maintain this position. All right, so that's how we perform this exercise. Now, that's the full bird dog version. Oftentimes, almost always, I'll start people out on this exercise working just the arms or just the legs, depending on their level of core function and stability and their level of their ability to maintain their posture, okay? We're gonna get tremendous postural work in this position as gravity is trying to do this to us, okay, and we're pushing the ground away. So you may wanna start this exercise if you're having trouble doing the opposite hand, opposite leg, and maybe you're collapsing there through the shoulder, or if you're just feeling too unstable and you can't maintain the posture, maybe you're losing the foam roller off of your back, then we want to just work with the arms. So again, we would exhale and just reach, focus on getting that nice reach straight to the wall in front and pushing that ground away. Oftentimes, this is enough to focus on when we're first learning this exercise and learning how to position the hands properly under the shoulders and get ourselves to that nice full extended reach and really work that movement of the shoulder blade there. Now again, if you get that down really well, we'll go right to the legs and just work the legs so we can work that full extension. We want to try to get that leg parallel with the floor so we're getting a full squeeze in the glute as well. So again, just working the legs can be a great way to get you started on this exercise so you can master those kind of individual quarters of the exercise, and then we bring it all together again to finish out that full bird dog exercise. Okay, so that's how we perform the bird dog exercise. Now, as you can see, there's a lot of things that we don't want to do wrong there. I've mentioned a bunch of them already, but the biggest mistakes are, as I showed, we don't want that spine arching excessively, okay? So we don't want to be in this arched position as we're going. We want to be in that neutral spine. So again, go to the full arch position, come off about 2 inches, brace that core like you're going to get a punch in the stomach or a kick in the stomach, and you can maintain it. And then again, once you're set, that foam roller's on the back, don't let that foam roller move down, up, and of course, we don't want it to fall off side to side, which brings me to my next mistake. All right, make sure that you don't rotate excessively. So if I show you one here where we lose the foam roller, if we do an exercise, or if we do a weight shift on this excessively and we rotate the pelvis, okay, that foam roller is gonna come off the back. So that's why the foam roller is such a great tool here to help you prevent that from happening and really self-limit you and self-coach you into the right positions. Now, the last part I mentioned already, we don't want to collapse through the upper body. We want to maintain that spinal posture, no collapsing in the neck, no collapsing in the shoulders. All right, we're actively pushing that ground away, pushing those shoulder blades forward. All right, if you've practiced the shoulder packing exercise with me in a previous video, then you'll know how to move that shoulder forward, okay, and slide that shoulder blade forward on the rib cage there to set that position. So you may want to go back and revisit that exercise because it does teach you a foundational movement skill to be able to perform this exercise correctly. All right, so that is the bird dog exercise or the quadruped diagonal. Now, in terms of how many sets and reps should we do on this exercise? As I mentioned, it's a stability-based exercise where we're trying to develop the strength and conditioning and endurance in the stabilizing muscles of the core, hips, and shoulders. So whenever we're doing that, we want to do higher volume of repetitions. We want to do more reps to build up that endurance and build up that duration. So think about starting here. I personally like to start clients here and start people here with about 2 to 3 sets of about 10 to 15 reps. Again, that could be just with the arms, could be just with the legs, depending on the level that you need to start at. Again, oftentimes I'll recommend starting there because it's a great way to just master the quarters of each exercise. Just make sure you really have that perfect shoulder reach. Make sure you have that perfect leg extension and then bring them all together. So I'd highly recommend that. Again, break it down each one, 2 to 3 sets of about 10 to 15 reps. And then from there, I love to progress this one into some holding, into some isometric holds. So whether we're holding that position for about 10 seconds, then we can work up to holding for 30 seconds. We can work up to even 45 seconds in a minute, which is a nice way to work on this exercise and really work that isometric strength and your endurance to just hold the position for that long of a time is another great way to program this exercise and to build, again, your bird dog position, build your quadruped diagonal, which will lay a nice foundation for you in your spinal posture and your core, hip, and shoulder stability. Okay, so I hope this was helpful for you. Actually, one last piece I want to leave you with in terms of timing on this exercise. I often get that question, when should you do it? There's never a bad time to do this exercise. But particularly after doing some mobility exercises like hip mobility, shoulder mobility, again, because this exercise is working so much of the full body, really after doing any lower body or upper body mobility drills, this is going to be a great exercise for you to, again, stack some stability on top of that mobility that you opened up with and to help cement that new range of motion. And this will help produce more range of motion as well. As the body stabilizes better, it will more comfortably let you move into deeper range of motions because it's confident that you have the strength to control those range of motions. So that's really an ideal time to perform this exercise. This is a great one to do, again, after that mobility work, right at the beginning of a workout to get those abdominals firing up. It's great to do before your big lifting exercise. If you're doing squats and deadlifts and you need a lot of core stability, great one to prep, get some good core activation going before you do those exercises. And then finally, at the end of a workout, it's a nice one to throw in on a core circuit. It's a nice one to throw in if you finish out with some type of a core focus in your workouts. It's a perfect one there. It fits in just right there as well to practice it. So if this was helpful for you, go ahead and hit the like button. Drop any questions in the comments below. Let me know if there's a particular exercise you want me to show you how to do properly next. And I look forward to making that video for you. And as I mentioned, this is really one of the exercises in the middle of a progressional series of building the mobility, stability, and then the strength to go ahead and perform those more advanced strength and conditioning exercises. So I have more videos coming your way on those more advanced exercises. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you then. Unleash your power, achieve your potential.